Hello everyone, this is Lindsay. Welcome back to my channel. I thought I would do another beginner tutorial or beginner inspiration video because I see a lot of things going around about what people think they have to accomplish to make a journal or how much stuff they think they have to have. And I want to continually show you guys that even with the most minimal supplies and the easiest of techniques, you can make something beautiful. So today we're going to be talking about digital ephemera, how it is budget friendly, and what are the minimal supplies you need to make something beautiful with it. We're going to be using my new kit, Music Blooms, and this is a commissioned kit for Misty. It was her idea and she commissioned this kit. I do offer that option, so you can always message me if you're interested in commissioning a kit and having it made for you. So she has the kit, the version where she also gets a simple journal with it. So I've already put together a simple journal with the pages, and I will link the kit both digitally and printed below. These background pages here I got off of, I think it was Creative Fabrica, and I will put that link below too. And then all I've done is added a couple extra pages to make a really sweet and simple journal. So now I have a very simple journal and I want to add a couple of extra things to it. So far, the only supplies that I have into this are the pages that I printed. So if you are brand new, do not feel like you have to collect a bunch of stuff. I keep hearing that. I'm still collecting. I haven't made one yet. You don't need to collect a ton of stuff to make a journal. Buy one kit. You don't have to do digital either, but I'm just showing how digital makes it super easy. You can buy one digital kit, maybe one pack of colored paper, and a couple of 12 by 12, like 12 by 12 colored paper for cardstock for the cover, a pair of scissors, and some inks. Now these are stupid cheap. They are so cheap. I'm pretty sure you can get these on Amazon. I've been using these for a couple of years. It's incredible how long they last. If I can find the link, I'll put it below. You do not have to buy expensive distress inks and all those sort of things. You can buy cheap ink that will work totally fine with you. I've chosen yellow, orange, and blue because I want this to be super bright and super cheery. So I'm actually, before I get to the ephemera part, I am going to just use a little bit of blue around the edge of this. You do not even have to do the ink portion. I just like how it kind of makes it look like it has any edge. All of this is sewing machine free. If you're new to the journal idea, making journals, the sewing might just be a little too much for you, and I totally get that, and you might want to do that down the road once you're more confident, but there's not going to be any sewing in this. So when you purchase a digital kit, especially, I'll just talk about mine. Most of mine have 3 ephemera sheets in them, as well as usually 12 pages, sometimes more. You can add a couple in if you want to, or that is enough to make a single signature journal. So ephemera are just little collected pictures and papers that kind of go with the theme. So this is what I have here. They're already set out to print on a page, so you don't have to worry about that. I'm just going to cut these out and then just show you simple what you can do. The reason why I really suggest that you buy digital ephemera instead of worrying about collecting a bunch of real vintage ephemera is that the vintage stuff is sort of rare and can be very expensive. If you have money and you love collecting vintage stuff, then by all means go ahead and do that. But it can be very pricey and hard to find enough images around a certain theme. So if you are new, buying digital ephemera, you can print it as many times as you want, and it is just ready to go. I suggest you print it on cardstock. That way you don't have to worry about it being too thin. You don't have to worry about trying to glue it or sew it to additional layers to bulk it up a little bit. So I just have cheap 67-pound white cardstock that I ordered off of Amazon, and I printed it on there because it's cheap. You can buy more expensive, like the Ivory 110-pound cardstock is beautiful, but I also wanted to do just white with this because I didn't want to dull the colors too much. I really wanted this journal to be bright and snazzy. So you just cut them all out, and then we'll find little places for them within the journal. When you're starting out, I would really suggest that you do not worry about collecting ephemera at all. Buy a kit that has some ephemera included in it and just work with the ephemera that comes in the kit. In my opinion, it is better to make a journal with the little bit that you have than to spend tons of money on supplies and then not use them and still not feel like you have enough. My suggestion is that you start with one kit. Like if you buy this kit, Music Blooms, and you're working with it, make a journal with it. As you can see, I pretty much only use the kit with only a few extra little pages, and that's pretty much it. Once you've made the journal, then I would suggest you buy another kit or ephemera pack that maybe coordinates with it or looks nice with it, and then you can kind of mix and match and make another journal. And every time maybe that you complete a journal or complete a project, you add one more item. So one more kit, or you go to your craft store or favorite Etsy shop and buy a couple of things and make sure that you're using them. It doesn't mean you can't save or you can't hoard, because we all love that, but you will be happier if you use what you buy than if you wait for the perfect amount of supplies. It is totally amazing the beauty that comes out of simplicity. It just sometimes frustrates me because I see people thinking that they have to overdo it all the time. And if you've been paper crafting for years, then I understand that. But if you're new and you want to get into it, you don't want to feel like you have to meet the standards of somebody who's been doing this for 20 years. You don't want to have to feel like you need a craft room that can rival your local Hobby Lobby. You want to be able to have a drawer or two in your desk that has a couple supplies that you can pull out and make a beautiful gift for someone, or a beautiful journal for yourself to write in. And that's what I'm trying to show you in these beginner videos, that you only need to start with a small little drawer or bin, and you can still have gorgeous works. It's about the love, about the creativity, and about the quality. It's not about how much money you spend or how many supplies you own. It is not about the brand. It's not, do you have the Tim Holtz this or the Jane Davenport that, or, you know, the We Are Memory Keepers this. If you just have a pair of scissors, you know, office scissors that you've had around for 10 years, use those. If you just have some markers you can use to color the edges till you can, you know, afford or take the time to buy an ink pad, do that. It is just totally about using what you have. And that's the true beauty of a junk journal, is recycling and using what we have. If it becomes a passion and a hobby and you love filling bags full of goodies to use at your local store or Etsy shop, then of course I'm for that. But don't ever let it stop you from creating because you don't have bags full of stuff. And sometimes the bags full of stuff can stop you from creating because you don't know where to start and you don't know what to make next. All right, now I've cut all these out. Let's keep this super simple. I have 3 colors of ink that I want to use. So I'm not even going to think about this. I'm just going to separate it into 3 piles. Well, I'm trying to pause this here. Okay, hold on. Sorry about that. My phone was acting up. Okay. I'm going to take the ephemera, and without thinking, I am just going to quickly separate it into 3 piles randomly. You don't have to do this if you're just using one ink color. I'm just doing this for it. You know, I can turn my brain off and still talk. So I'm going to grab blue first. And you don't even have to buy those fancy makeup brushes or sponge dabbers or whatever. I just like to use the ink pad. Just flick it and rub it on the edge, make a messy color all the way around it. It just kind of gives it a fun, finished look. But you don't even have to do that to make a good journal. It's just a simple step that elevates it. So then I've done my blues. I'm going to take orange for the second pile. If you can only buy one color of ink, I suggest you get a brown because that can pretty much go with anything. But I think there's a whole set of these colored inks on Amazon that are super cheap, and I will link those below so you can get them if you haven't already. It's amazing how much ink is in these and how long they last. Sometimes the pad does separate from the bottom. They are cheap, but I've still found them to be well worth the money. So my last pile, I'm going to use yellow. Like this, you can see the pad is starting to come up, but also I have had this. As you can see, it's dirty. I've had it for a long time. And right now it still works. Sometimes I put a little bit of hot glue under it to try to hold it down a little longer. As you can see, I'm making an entire journal. I am not worrying about washi tapes and stickers, and I'm not worried about ribbons and laces and trims. I am going back to basics. All right, so there's all of my ephemera, and here is my journal. So let's talk about the uses of ephemera and how we can best make use of just these few pieces of ephemera in this one journal. The first thing I like to do with ephemera is choose an image for the cover before I start decorating it. So I'm just looking through anything that strikes my fancy on the front cover. It doesn't matter, I'm just want to pick that one first. That's pretty. All right, I think I'm going to use this one right here. It's a vintage postcard that I've added some music notes and a butterfly and some greenery to, and I've kind of enhanced the image slightly. So this is going to be on my front cover. I'm going to grab some glue. This is just a crafter's pick glue. I wouldn't worry about all of the different kinds of glue if you're starting off. Just grab a tacky glue or something like that. This is a relatively cheap glue you can get at Hobby Lobby. I'm not even going to worry about layering up with other papers. I am just going to let the beauty of the ephemera be the focal point. And because I've inked that with an orange ink, and I've inked this whole thing around with blue, you get a little bit of a layering effect. Isn't that sweet for the cover? Super simple. Now you can go ahead and glue it onto another piece of paper or add some buttons or lace or other things if you have that. It's not necessary. Okay, so now let's talk about the different kinds of ephemera. Why do we have them? Most of the time it's to add interest and give us little cards, little journal cards to write something on the back and have little notes throughout the journal, little bits of beauty. So when you're trying to figure out where to put them in a journal, I like to have something on the inside cover if there's no pattern on the paper. So I think I'm going to use this Music Blooms in Our Souls and just glue it down. I really thought I would like this fine tip glue thing, but it takes forever when you're just gluing ephemera. Use whatever glue you have on hand. or double-sided tape or tape gun. So I'm just going to do that, and then she could write her name or anything she wants there. So then I like to look for the pages that don't have much going on. Like there's music notes and there's a blank page, but there's no image. So tags. I think my phone just stopped again. Did it? No, I thought I was having problems with my phone again. I'm sorry. So why tags? Good question. I have no idea, except that they have a different shape and they're kind of fun and cool. Pretty much you can just journal on the back. So this tag is big enough. It has a good enough size. I'm just going to clip it right on here. You can get, I think, like 250 paper clips. I'm grabbing one over here. I should have some from the dollar store for about nothing. You can get big ones or colored ones. You can get all different kinds of colored paper clips or just the silver paper clips at the Dollar Tree. I think you can get 100 or 200 or more for only $1. That will last you quite a long time. And then you can just use them to clip it on. That allows you to pull it out, journal on it, slip it back in, add it, move it around to other pages and things like that. So then on this side, since I already have this part of a paper clip on here, I can save my paper clips and just tuck another ephemera right there. So that's a great way to save money on supplies and then make this spread look really nice. This looks so beautiful the way it is, and it's really busy already, but I'm not going to add any more ephemera to it. This one doesn't have, I mean, it's okay. I could leave it. I feel like maybe just a little something might be really pretty, like a little, like this lady, add a, you know, a human onto it. I'm just going to clip that up at the top. And then I have this part of the paper clip. So I'm just going to find another ephemera and clip it on there. This, my printer didn't print. Sometimes there's mistakes when you're printing, and so I have a plain white side. So what I'm gonna do is this a piece of ephemera where it has this music staff lines, but you could write. Well, it's a little wide, but I think, let me see. I'm just looking at different ones. I really like that one there. I think it goes well with this. I've also brought this Jot brand glue stick. You can get these at the Dollar Tree. You get multiple in a pack, so they're really affordable for starting out. They work pretty well too. And this one's a little on the goopy side, but you know, you work with what you got. You just spread it around. We don't always have to chase the next best thing. We can use what we have, and that is a good piece of reminder. It's a good reminder for all of us. So I am just going to glue that down to break up that blank page. Now she can journal around it or under it if she wants to. I think this looks really pretty together, but this is a little blank. So I'm looking through my ephemera here on the side again. And now let's talk about clipping more than one piece of ephemera together. Excuse me. Sometimes you see multiple pieces together. And if you clip them like on top of each other, you can do that. But what I like to do is try to make them different sizes and try to layer them so you can see both pieces and what is going on. It just gives you more to work with. It makes everything look prettier. We'll just clip that right on there. Here was where my printer messed up again, but that is not a problem. We will just add a piece of ephemera, just offset it right there, and now it looks really nice. I'm going to grab my glue stick again. This is simple, 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 basic. There are so many tucks and flips and pockets and folios and file folders, and I mean so much stuff that can make your head spin when you are new. That's why I am just talking about gluing and clipping, the Ephemera 101, so to speak. So now doesn't that look like a gorgeous spread? That one's really pretty. This one, I have just a little piece of ephemera. I think I will clip down here at the bottom. I will clip, and maybe I'll take 2 of these. This is a bigger one, so we can kind of offset it just like that and clip it on the top. Then we can move them all around. We have just music notes here, so I'm gonna use that clip and clip that right in there. This middle signature is just blank. There's nothing going on, so I'm gonna try to come up with a way. I am almost out of ephemera from the kit, but not to worry. We will figure something out here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take this orange ink that I've already been working with, and just by adding it to the edges, it already feels less blank. There we go. If you have stamps or washi tape, you could add that as well, but I'm going to keep this super sweet and super simple and clip just a small little piece of ephemera here, and then use that clip to tuck that ephemera there. I only have 1 piece left, so if these spreads look really good, I'm just going to leave them the way they are till I get to, here's a really blank one. So we're going to clip that there. Okay, now what do we do here? Now that we are out of ephemera, we really don't have to do anything. This is beautiful, and it can just journal there. You could add, you know, washi tape or stickers if you had them, but it is not necessary. The other thing you can do if you want to, like if you feel this needs something and you're out of ephemera and you don't really have any more, is you can go back to maybe a place where you added more than what was needed. I think we've had like this place. This looks a little busy with all this going on. So I might just grab one of these and add it here. Of course, you could reprint the ephemera. You could print another ephemera sheet or something like that if you wanted to. And then here in the back, I'm going to grab a pen and I'm going to sign my name. And I'm going to date the year. Now I have a lovely, lovely, sweet little gift. Basic, but how nice is that, either for you to write in or to give to somebody? It doesn't take that long to make. We used minimal basic supplies. I hope that you really enjoyed this. I hope if you haven't made a journal, or if you haven't made a journal in a while, or you don't have a lot of time to craft, you'll use this idea. Before I send this to Misty, I probably will go in with some stamps and some stickers or a couple things, add a couple touches just because I can, but I feel it is totally finished as is and really doesn't need anything else. I'm just going to add more just so that, because I can, and I have a couple things that I think will go well with it. So I hope that you enjoyed this. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you did, and I'll see you all in the next video.